If only I had spidey senses, so I can tell when something's wrong. Oh, and I've been sent to protect this heart from breaking into pieces. Where's my hammer? Where's the shield? Oh, the strength to carry the weight of the world. Fly high into the sky. I'll catch you if you fall. I'll catch you if you fall. Fly high into the sky. I'll catch you if you fall. I'll catch you if you fall.
Now, here's your host, DJ Host with the Most.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode, the holiday episode of Snap Decisions. This is your Merry Snap DJ, and I am here for the holiday edition of Snap Decisions. We're just a few days away from Christmas of 2025, and another year going to be wrapped up very soon after that, and we're going to be heading on into 2026. So while I am in a festive mood and I've got a lot of festive stuff to talk about in this episode, of course, we'll do the regular stuff. We'll talk about the new card that came out this week, a little bit of a chance that I got to play with it earlier, Aurora, of course. And we'll talk about some Snap as well. In the spin today, I've got some amazing news if you haven't already heard. For those of you who maybe not necessarily on the socials, but I've got that announcement to make. I'm going to go over some best Christmas gifts that I polled people on today. In the listener call-in section, we're going to talk about the best gift you may have received and the best gift you gave, to be in the spirit of Christmas, of course, in giving and receiving. So we'll talk about that. We'll go over my week in Snap. Talk about where I am. I really didn't go too far on ladder because I've been playing the new game mode, of course, Team Clash, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And I've got that big announcement to come up at the beginning of the show, and then, of course, we'll get into Comics Corner, where we will talk about Aurora, and we'll talk about my book picks for the week, and then we will get into the MCU Minute, where Marvel finally decided to debut that very first teaser trailer today. So it is on their YouTube page. It's now official. All of the content creators who were getting yelled at for putting the content out early, because of course it got leaked when people were going into the theaters and seeing it there. Although a lot of people weren't even seeing it. So a lot of people were kind of pissed about that. They were going to buying tickets to Avatar, and they really didn't even want to. They kind of went to just see these trailers, and they didn't get to see them anyway. So we'll talk about that in the MCU, and of course we'll look forward to some of the stuff that's coming out as well. And then we will go into the gaming section of the pod. Oh man, I'm gonna keep forgetting the name that I named it. It's Pixel something. I know that. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. We'll talk about video games a little bit. And then, of course, we'll get into the lyric challenge for the week. And yeah, so we're going to get into the spin. And right off the bat, I'm going to pause and take a drink. What am I drinking today? I'm drinking a bargain brand. Because, your Snap DJ has to save money because, it's getting rough out there. So I'm looking at the Weiss supermarket brand of the caffeine-free Diet Cola. That's my drink of choice today. But I'm going to start off with some breaking news. And my breaking news this week was that I was accepted into the Marvel Snap Creator Program. I am honored. I'm very surprised. A little bit flabbergasted. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that word. A little verklempt, maybe. But I'm very surprised at it because I've always done the YouTube stuff, and I had a blast. I would always usually have people on with me, and whether that be other content creators for Snap or people I met along the way. For a little while there, I was doing a podcast with Nick the Greek Geek, and many great guests over the years. That I have, and I've had a blast doing that. But I kind of got away from it because of my schedule. My work schedule kind of changed. I got a new job, and as it happens, life changes. And so because of that, I was pretty much, with the exception of just that episode I had with Lauren weeks back, and I had planned to do more and more videos, but I just couldn't get a schedule down to find the time, which I promise I'm going to do. And I have to now. I've got to get it back on the stick here, and I've got to get things going if I'm gonna live up to the expectations and stuff like that. But I couldn't be more honored by that. As I don't know. I think maybe more than some other creators. And I'm not, and look, everybody's different. Everybody does things their own way. And when I was a DJ, in college, that's kind of how it was, everybody had their own thing. I was kind of the night shift guy, so I was able to go a little further with things than some other people could, as far as what music I could play or pick, and as far as, the comments that I could make and things like that. So I was able to be a little bit more controversial because of the time that I was on. And so I guess some of that carried over really into this and what I do with this as well. I don't kind of pull punches very much. If I see something I don't like, I'm going to tell you guys I don't like it. And I'm going to tell you why I don't like it. And I'm an older guy, and I'm just going to speak my mind. And sometimes that's not always the best way to go about things. But that's what makes me very, very grateful to Marvel Snap, is because, I'm probably, I would think, one of the oldest creators that are out there. I don't know that for sure because I don't know everybody who's a content creator. I don't know the ages of the people who are. But I would bet you that I'm either one of the oldest or, definitely up there as maybe the oldest content creator that they may have. So I'm very appreciative of that. And also the fact that, I probably have a different audience maybe than they're used to. And so for that, I am very, very grateful that to be involved. And of course you guys will win from that too, because I had a post out. The post has been out for a day or two. I'm going to award some season passes. So if you haven't gotten the season pass for December yet, now I know it's we're getting late in the month here, but if you haven't gotten one, I would tell you to go to my Twitter, or you can go to my Blue Sky. And you can see that. I'm going to post it on Discord too. So you can head over to my Discord as well, which is in two places. I have my own Snap Decisions Discord, or I have the Discord section on Snap Judgments, Glazer's Discord. I have my own section there too. So I will tell you that the only requirements are, if you're on Twitter, to follow me over there. If you're on Blue Sky, follow me there. And then head over to my YouTube channel, which is Snap Decisions, and just subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and then leave a comment on the latest video, which is the one with Lauren Whatevs. Leave a comment about what could I make it? Leave a comment about which card you like so far for this month the best. And you can include today's card too if you get a chance to play it. But that's all you have to do, and you could win one of those three free season passes that I'm giving away, courtesy of Second Dinner and Marvel Snap. So yeah, go ahead and do that. That's going to be another thing I'll be having every month, courtesy of the program. So you guys will definitely benefit from that as well. And so please go ahead and do that. But yeah, I'm just very flattered that they chose me, and super, super grateful. Shout out to, and I'm going to get into this a little bit too in the spin here, because I'm going to go over kind of my week. They give you statistics of your podcast, and I do get it published through Spotify, so I don't really have the numbers for Apple. I have to go and look those up separately, which I can, but Spotify kind of gives me audience numbers and this and that, and they did a wrap up on it, and I'm gonna go over that with you guys today, and in more of just a way, and it's not really in any way bragging or anything like that. It's basically as a thank you to all of you guys who have listened, watched on YouTube or whatever over the course of these last few years that I've been doing it now. So it's just more of an appreciation thing to all of you. But yeah, I was just amazed, and I put out posts to just thank everybody that were instrumental in helping me get this thing going off the ground. I can name some of them here off the top of my head. Glazer, of course. Glazer, like I said, I've said many times before, he kind of gave me that little bit of a help at the start with coming on the show and being a guest. And, like I said, he didn't have to do that. And to this day, he tells me all the time that my show is one of his favorite shows to listen to. And it's, for everything that Glazer does for the community and everything that he's done with this game over the past however many years it's been going now, to have someone like that behind you is a big thing, and it means a lot to me. So shout out to Glazer. Some of the people who have been on my pod and been on it several times. Lauren Whatevs. You all know who Lauren is from the Snap on this podcast, but Lauren does so many things with the Snap community. They always look to her to get the numbers, right? The numbers person. And figuring out all those statistics and numbers for all the limited game modes and whatnot. And now I think she's got a website out there that she's working on. So just constant stuff that she's doing for the community and Marvel Snap and her own podcast and stuff. Always seems to find time to do other things. But again, a huge shout out and thank you to her. Prashan has been on my show several times as well. Was one of my first guests I know on the pod, and just a great guy, big comic book guy, and I've had a lot of cool discussions with him about comic books over the years. I know I'm going to forget people. Regis Kilbin, taking time out of his busy schedule, that all the streams he does to come on the show and have a chat with me, which was awesome. Nina's Noob, Doughy Cat, all of the amazing creators who I've gotten a chance to talk to. Super Tech God, oh my gosh, Tucker, Nick the Greek Geek, of course. He and I kind of teamed up for a podcast for a little while that we did on our own. Gunny T, who has been on my show a bunch of times. And I could go on and on and on, and I know I'm going to forget people. But I wouldn't be able to do this, and I wouldn't have been doing it if it weren't for all of you. So I have nothing but joy and thanks in my heart for all of you. Kier Nimbus, who's been on the show, Burb, who's been on the show. Again, I can keep rattling off people over and over and over again, and I'm going to get that going again. I promise you I will. Just had to get I had to just figure out a schedule. At the very least, what I promise you I am going to do is I'm going to get these podcasts converted. I know Glazer does this. I just have to kind of figure out how to do it. But I'm going to get them converted over from audio to YouTube, and I'm going to have them on the YouTube channel at the very least. If I don't have video stuff happening, maybe I don't have the time for it, a certain week or whatever, I'm going to get the podcast out on YouTube as well. There won't be any visuals, but it'll be very similar to how Glazer does his. He gets his podcast out there on YouTube as well. And I'm gonna at the very least start to do that and get that out there. So if you'd rather have it on TV and just have it playing in the background or something like that, I'm gonna be able to do that and get that available to you guys also. So, but yeah, man, I'm just. I have to mention too, and I know that they don't do content anymore, but the kid and No Big Deal. No Big Deal's on X, and I chat with him every now and then, and those two guys are fantastic, and had an amazing time on their show, and they when they were on my show, they were just great dudes, and I wish them all the best in whatever they're doing now. Nerf Herder, who's been on my show, I could go on and on and on. And I've had, just like I said, amazing conversations with so many people over the course of these last 3 years that I've been doing this pod, that it's just been amazing. And not just talking about Snap, but talking about comics and talking about our interests and talking about how people think that the game can get better and all that kind of stuff, and just a little bit of everything, and it's just been an honor for me to get to know these people and to call them friends. And I plan on having, I'm going to get some, now that I'm able to meet some of these other people that are creators as well, because I'm now in Discord with a lot of them. I am going to get some other people on, and I'm going to have some other new people come and join me. I'm already in discussions with Harry Perry. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's got a cool Snap channel to come on the show. So that'll be in January at some point in time. And I've watched his show a few times. So it'll be cool to have him on. Rez Snapper, I was talking to him. I love his prediction shows that he does and predicting what seasons will be coming out and everything like that. I know he's been on the Snapchat. I've been talking to him. He's very busy, but I've been talking to him at certain points to try to see if I can get him on. And who knows, maybe now that I am in the creator Discord, I can bug some other creators and see if I can't, have them come on the show at some point in time too. So, it's just amazing, guys. I'm just, I can't tell you how humbled I am, by being asked to do this and thrilled by it. So, and like I said, you guys will definitely benefit from it too. But again, I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you all. My amazing alliance, who I talk about a lot on the pod, they are absolutely awesome, every single one of them. We still have a full alliance, and I know not everybody could say that anymore because Snap really hasn't done much for alliances. And, now that I'm in that program, I'm going to mention that. And I hope that they'll look into that. Now, I know this week they actually gave out different awards than they have given in the past. I think it's Mystery Borders, which is a first. So that's kind of cool, but I would like to see them, reward these people a little bit for being so dedicated to the alliance. So, all right. So I'm going to get into some numbers for you guys. Now I know, numbers aren't always the most, numbers aren't always the most interesting thing, but I'm going to get into these numbers because I went through my Spotify year in review. And again, this is only Spotify. This doesn't include like Apple and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure I get more listeners on Apple than I do Spotify. But, Apple, I didn't see their stats yet. I think when I went to look at them last year, I don't think they published them until the very end of the year. So when I get those, I'll pass those along too. But I just want to go over some of these because these are mind blowing to me. My total audience increased 23% from last year. So that's amazing. This one blows my mind. Total new audience. So this is brand new listeners. Now I've been doing this for like 3 years. So total new audience, it's up 123% increase. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. You guys just rock. Those of you who just started listening to me in 2025, I mean, unbelievable. Just thank you so much. Total followers up 77% in followers from last year. That's just awesome. Listening time, 204,000 minutes of listening. And again, this is just Spotify. So this isn't even counting Apple. which is unreal. Listening time, 3.4 thousand hours of listening. 142 days, and then 20 weeks of listening, and it equates to 4 months. So it just goes up, and 123% new audience is insane to me. That is unbelievable. I've reached 42 countries. 42 different countries have listened to my pod. That's amazing just for me to think of. I mean, in the days I was doing radio, I was doing radio for a college, and it was reaching the college pretty much. Maybe a little bit of a distance outside of it, but back in that time, the radio stations for colleges pretty much were just for the college. They didn't have enough signal really to reach out very far. So 42 countries is that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing to me. And for those of you who listen to me outside of the United States, thank you so much. Very, very flattering. My top countries were, number 1 was the United States. Number 2 was the UK. Number 3 was Australia. Number 4 is Canada. And number 5 was Taiwan. So just amazing to me. Just absolutely amazing. Shout out to all of you for checking out the pod. It's unbelievable. You're a top 10 show for 184 people. Top 10. That's amazing to me. 184 people, a top 10 show. Top 5 show for 112. And I'm the number 1 show for 26 people that have listened to the show on Spotify. That's so extremely flattering to me, that my show is the number 1 choice of anybody. Even the top 5 or the top 10. The fact that I'm top 10 for almost 200 and some people on Spotify is mind-blowing to me. I never, ever in a million years starting this thing would have thought that would happen. I was thinking I'd be lucky if I had 5 to 10 people listening to the show. Unreal. Just unreal. My show's growth outpaced 63% of other shows, and they have me as a 2025 rising star. A 2025 Talked About show says I received more comments than 97% of other shows. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm sure, hey, look, I'm sure they weren't all agreeing with me. And I'm sure that, some of the comments might not have been good. I have seen some that weren't, but you know what? That's okay. That's okay. If you disagree with me, I want to see those comments as much as I want to see the people who agree with everything I say. Because, that's how I get difference of opinions. And it's okay to have different opinions than the people that you're listening to. And it's okay to voice it. So I appreciate that just as much as the people who are saying the nice things and that are agreeing with the stuff that I say. Because not everybody has to agree. I'm not, when I'm doing this show, I'm not doing this show to just say, hey, you need to listen to me. You need to agree with me. That's not how it goes. And so I'm just as grateful to everybody who has left comments, and whether they be negative or positive or kind of suggestions or a little in between. And I think, let me see. Yeah, I think that was it. Those are the ones that I had pictured. And again, this is just all Spotify. I will get to the numbers from Apple at some point down the road, but just absolutely insanely flattering to me. And all I could say is thank you for everything, because without this, I'm sure that Second Dinner wouldn't have given me the time of day or recognized at all without seeing that all of you are tuning in and listening. So I have nothing but nobody but you all to thank, and I'm extremely grateful for it. So, well, I think that's the spin. I just have a couple little items here. There's new emotes coming to the game. I saw this published. I'll go over these quick. We're getting an Angela emote that they, of course, call angelic. She's kind of waving. They have one called the Love Bug. I'm not sure who that is. He's wearing he's got like a green mouth. Might be a she. I'm not really sure who that is. Green mouth and wearing like a golden helmet, but I'm not sure who that is. There's a Captain America one that's called Cubes Everywhere. Then we got a Chamber, which says Chamber Chomp. That's a cool one. We are getting a Fin Fang Foom, which just says Foom on it. Another Nick Fury, a Furious Yell, that one's called. Oh my God, Galactus. We're getting a new Galactus emote. This better not be in a $100 bundle or I'm going to be upset. This one's called Puny Planet and it has him squishing or eating a planet, which is amazing. Got to get that one. Confused Rider, although someone pointed out he doesn't look very confused. Yeah, he kind of doesn't. But hey, it's a Ghost Rider. We've got Goose. And Goose has a plate in front of him. It looks like celery, carrots, and milk. And it says, you what? Then there's another, Oracle chick pointed this out to me. There's a little bit too many like handshaky ones now. There kind of are. There was the one that's in the in-game mode now, that the Wolverine claws and the Weapon X or the Weapon H claws going together. Now we've got Hulking Handshake, which is Hulk and Red Hulk. Shaking hands. So we are kind of getting a lot of the handshake ones. I agree. There's an Iron Fist one called Success. That's a cool one. Has the glowing fist held up and stuff like that. That'd be a good one to do. That's a great one to use when you win the game, right? Instead of the Miss Marvel, we all know what that means. This is a good one to do when you win the game. Be like, yeah, okay, I like that one. There's an Iron Man one called Take My Money. Is that Iron Man or Iron Lad? No, I think that's Iron Man. There's a Legion one that says, therefore, aliens, and it just has him kind of holding his hands up there, kind of explaining things. There's a Lizard, and he's drinking, looks like tea, and it says, none of my business. There's a Marrow one that just says, Marrow time. Stop. Marrow time. We've got of course, the Mobius one that's in the in-game mode now that I just got, the Conspiracy Theorist. That's a good one for me. I'm going to use that a lot because I am definitely a conspiracy fan. There's a Mystique saying, shh. That's a good one for when people are like emoting you too much. Kind of like, the Ms. Minutes was one that you could counter that with. This is a good one for that. If people are just emote spamming, you can do the shush. That's a good one. I like that. There's a Namor one with it says sweating. So that's like a nervous one, like, oh, I'm going to lose this game. Then there's another one with Shuri that says, oh, snap, and she's holding both sides of her head. And then we got Uatu doing kind of the same move. He has both his hands on his head as well. And then we got Bucky. Bucky looks very sad. That's sad Bucky Barnes, sad Winter Soldier. And then we got another Wolverine just kind of holding out his claws. So that's cool. We're getting some new emotes into the game. That's pretty cool stuff. And let's see what else we have here. If I missed anything, I don't think so. Oh yeah, the upcoming patch updates. Now this is from Griffin. There will be a patch in January 6th, an OTA on January 15th, an OTA on January the 29th, a patch on February 10th, an OTA on February 12th and 26th. Then in March, we got a patch on the 10th and then an OTA on the 12th and the 26th. So they are the upcoming patch dates and things like that. And let's see if I'm missing anything else that had to be in the spin here. I don't think so. Yeah, so there you go. So that is the spin, the DJ spin for the week. And now I'm going to get to the listener call-in section, and we're going to go into this. Now, there may be some people who have not responded yet that may still, and if you do, I will read these out as well next week when I get to them, if I get more in the meantime. And what it is I wrote, for tonight's holiday edition pod, in the spirit of giving and getting, what was your favorite Christmas gift? And which gift brought you the most joy to give? So, and I said, let me know below, and please feel free to elaborate. we'll be reading them on the pod. So this goes for all of you guys that are listening as well. Because I know, a lot of you aren't necessarily on X and you may not see this, or on Blue Sky. But you can certainly respond to this question. I'd love to hear from all of you. Pretty soon, again, you will be able to put these comments over on the YouTube page when I get the audio out on YouTube. But in the meantime, you could certainly hit me up on my Discord with the comments. You can hit me up on either one of the socials, on Blue Sky or on X, if you're on either one. And if you're not on there, I've got my lonely little Discord that's over there that doesn't get much love, but I've got that as well. So you can leave me comments on there too. I really love to hear from you with this because I think this is a cool little thing. Reviews from the Tub responded, and they said it's really hard not to say my puppy Rumpy way back in first grade. To give would be my mom's puppy Harley. We really love dogs around here. Happy holidays, Joe, and fellow snappers. Happy holidays to you. And what a great gift. A great gift to get and a great gift to give are always puppies or animals. And they are, a big thing this time of year. I will say this. I know a lot of people who work with animals now this time of year. I have a really good friend who works with rabbits. I know people that work in a, I have my best friend from my years growing up. Her name's Kim. She works at a wolf shelter down in Florida, and obviously, she takes care of wolves. So I know a lot of people that work with animals. The one thing I will say is that remember, it is a commitment. And I know a lot of people will go out. People have a tendency around Easter time and even Christmas to go out and buy pets. And just, they'll get them, and then the next thing you know, they realize, oh, this was a bad idea. And then they end up returning them to the shelter or to the, there's nothing worse than to do that to an animal. And I feel so bad for them. So please just make sure you consult with people. Make sure you think it over prior to making that commitment and that step. Because, whether it be a dog, a cat, that rabbits, whatever the case might be, they're going to need your attention. They want your attention. And so if you know that you just can't make that commitment, then I'd advise you, just really think it over first, because that's the last thing you want to see is a pet getting their forever home, and then having to go right back, to the shelter or whatever, because, and I'm also a proponent of shelters and things like that and rescues. My daughter's dog came from a rescue. My dog came from, my dog that we have now was a person who we knew that had a litter of puppies. But I have had shelter dogs in the past, and I plan to, throughout my life, have more. And so, I would suggest that you always look at the shelters and stuff. And, I would love to work on the side with animals. I am a huge animal lover. And, but I'll tell you, my heart would break. And if I had to work in a shelter, I'd want to take them all home. We'd be the doghouse. I would take every one of them home if I could. And so, yeah. So I would just say that if you're going to make that commitment, just please know what you're in for, because, they want your time, they want your love, they want your attention. And just please make sure before you do that, because just make sure that you have that time and the ability to do so. But yeah, I've never gotten a pet for Christmas, but I know people who have, and that's an absolutely amazing gift. And thanks for the comment, love it. And I wrote back to him, I love dogs. Hard to beat, hard to beat a gift like that of a pet. ND Free writes, Pokemon White 2 for the DS was one of the best gifts I ever had, and a collar for my grandma was the best to give. That's awesome. It's a wonderful thing this time of year. When you reminisce and you remember the things that you got, but it's also very special when you can remember the things that you gave, that just filled your heart. I know that there's probably some of you out there that have worked in, giving people Christmas dinner or homeless shelters and things like that. Oh my gosh, it's amazing that there are people out there that do that, and it just fills their hearts with that kindness and that Christmas spirit, and that's really what it's all about. People that do that, it's got to be such an amazing feeling to do. I know I watch football and sports, and I see a lot of the teams that do that. They go out and they serve Christmas dinner to people in need, and they visit hospitals. And, I'm a big wrestling fan, and John Cena. Of course, you'll know him, and you'd know him from Peacemaker if you don't watch wrestling. But the guy who has given the most wishes in Make-A-Wish, things like that, especially this time of year when people are struggling, are just amazing things to do. Absolutely amazing things to do. And giving gifts is good, and sometimes actually much better than receiving gifts. So just absolutely amazing. I'll tell you mine at the end. Let me see if I got any more. I think I might have gotten some from Blue Sky and some from Discord. Kier Nimbus responded, this is from Blue Sky. My favorite Christmas gift was getting a Nintendo Switch in high school. My parents aren't well off, but they saved both their tax returns and made it happen. It was my only gift that year, and it meant a lot. Yeah, you know what? I grew up with parents who both worked very, very hard. My dad left us at an early age. My parents got divorced, and, it was just my mom, and she was working a waitress job and at two different restaurants, and it was difficult. But I will say that my grandparents, my mom's father and mother, really, really got us a lot of stuff. My dad's mom got us a lot of stuff, and so we did really well on Christmas, and my aunt and my uncles and stuff got us things too. So we did well, but it's things like that that when that your parents aren't making a ton of money, and you still can, you come down when you're a young kid to the tree and you see all those gifts, and it's like, man, now all these years later, you just appreciate that so much more because how hard it was. And even back in those days when my parents were working, the minimum wage was like $3.65 an hour. So just imagine the amount of hours and time that they had to put in to get some of this stuff. And I'll tell you, they got me some expensive things. I mean, I was just going over, I was just talking about Mego action figures. And looking over the list, I had so many of them. And even then, action figures were listed as like $2, $3, but still, when you consider how low the minimum wage was, that was an hour's worth of wage. And then, a lot of the Star Wars toys that I would get, my grandparents bought me the figures. They got me play sets. I got the Millennium Falcon, the Death Star. I had a lot. And my parents were not rich. So they really went all out for Christmas. And you don't appreciate that when you're younger, but you sure do when you get older. So I love that, Kier. And he wrote, as for gifts given, I gifted my fiance a basket worth of goodies filled with anime merch and cute plushies. I know she'll love this Christmas. Oh, I hope she's not listening. Oh, don't want to spoil. And she's been giddy about opening them all December. Oh, okay, she knows. Could almost blown that out the window. That's awesome. That's amazing, dude. And thanks for sharing. I absolutely love that. Let me see if anybody else shared anything here. Let's see if I got anything else. I know I got one from Discord. Now, again, I know I didn't give you that much time with this. I wish I would have kind of posted it a little sooner, but I can read out the rest of them next week too as well. And I got one from Lauren Whatevs also. Says, I don't know if I have the memory to answer that. As a child, my favorite was probably the green N64 with Donkey Kong. Technically, it was given to my dad, but it was for the kids to use. It was our first TV console, and I freaked out. One giving that stands out was art I designed and had printed on canvas for my sister. It It was the Eiffel Tower done in a splotchy pink, yellow, and blue against a solid black background, but she was really moved by it and hung in her room for years. It was personal, but it was also cool to be able to afford getting it printed on canvas. I was 18 and working for the first time. Amazing. That's. I mean, how could you do better than that? You know, I wish I had that kind of talent. I was never a big drawer, and I'm definitely never a big painter. I loved art class, but I was never good at it. But the fact that you made something like that and you know, it hung in your sister's room, that's awesome. That's just awesome. And again, like I said, that's really what Christmas is all about. You know, you watch some of these things, some of these old Rankin Bass shows and stuff like that with the figures and stuff, the little claymation things that I used to watch growing up as a kid. You know, that's what they always kind of taught you, right? Like what they were all about was just the little things. You know, Christmas wasn't always about these big, extravagant, expensive gifts. It was about just the little things that people would do or people would make. You know, our grandparents used to sew, and you know, my wife did cross stitch and things like that. And my wife would make gifts like cross stitch stuff for her mom. And I remember my grandparents would make like these little woolen booties for the kids, and so they would knit, and it was things like that, right? Like that really meant a lot to people and stood out, because it wasn't just something that you would go and just buy in a store or just order online and things like that. It was these small things like that really mean a lot to people. And yeah, I love it. Thank you all so much. And again, keep leaving me the comments on the posts, and I'll read them off on next year's on the New Year's episode. So yeah, man, I love it. Really brings me back, and I'm a nostalgic kind of guy, and that's, I guess, maybe what happens when you get to be my age. But it's just amazing. And I could see the traditions that they live on in my kids, and what they do, and what, the gifts may have changed, but the spirit of it all continues to live on. So yeah. So thank you. That's awesome. All right. So that was the listener call-in segment. And so we are going to move on, and we're going to go to the snap portion of the week, and we're gonna go to the snap talk. We're gonna talk about my week in Marvel Snap, and we'll talk a little bit about the new card today that came out. I don't know if you guys have a chance to play it yet. Of course, it's Aurora, and I know people are looking forward to this card a little bit. And also, I have played a lot of Team Clash, a lot more than I really thought I would. Sorry, I had to take a drink. Kind of a mixed reaction from people about it. Some people have said that they like it. Some people have said that it's not for them. And I can understand both sides of it. The people who are saying that they kind of weren't big on it were other people who really like the snap mechanic. And they like the snap mechanic in the game, and they kind of miss that because that is not in the game, right? That is not part of the mode. Me personally, and this just goes to show you how different everybody is, but me personally, I don't mind it. I don't mind not having that. I think that the snap mechanic is, sure, it's a cool competitive thing, but I think a game mode that doesn't necessarily have the competitive stuff, that isn't just always, you're grinding because you're afraid to lose the cubes and all that kind of stuff. I think it's good to get a little break from that. And this is why, people like Lauren and others, myself included, would love to see a game mode that isn't sweaty. A game mode that, that maybe like this, where you can just play cards. And you're not sweating out the ladder. You're not sweating out losing the cube, because let's face it, right? Like even if you can back out of the game, it's still, you're still losing, right? You still have lost a cube. So no, yeah, you're not sticking around because you're pretty confident you're going to lose, and that's still a win in a way. And you can have that mentality for sure, but you're still losing. And when you get on those streaks and you just can't win a game, you're still losing one cube. And then by the time you look, you played like maybe 7 games in a row that you lost. Now you're all the way down a whole level. So you're still kind of losing, right? So I don't know. I don't know if this is it. I'm not saying that Team Clash is the be all and end all, but it was fun for me to play it because it wasn't sweaty. There were no stakes. Mostly you're just trying to finish out missions, right? So it doesn't even really matter much if you win or if you lose. The only thing you're really losing is you're losing the tickets. But they're easy enough to get more. And so, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed this. I like the system where you can use the pre-made decks or your own custom decks. I think they need to go back to that with the other mode too. Give people the opportunity to make their own decks. Make a good ban list. Make sure some of the cards that need. Now, I will say, the one card that I thought was a little bit too overpowered in this mode was Spider-Punk. It's just too easy to keep him going back and forth, where, he's always hitting the cards for negative, and that's a little overbearing. So that card to me, I think, was a little bit, but other than that, I really didn't see much. I enjoyed playing the Thunderbolts the most because you're not under pressure of having to win, right? Your focus in Snap is always to win, and that deck kind of turns itself on its head. You're better off losing in that game with that team because it gives you bonuses. I like that because you're not, that's why I told you guys I like Wick and Ramp because I always have the peace of mind knowing that I'm at least going to have a card every turn where I'm not kind of sitting there. With the Thunderbolts, you want to sit there. You don't necessarily want to play. You want the other person to get a nice jump on you, get a lead, and then you want to go into it because then your cards just grow and they get bigger when they're losing. I like that mechanic. That I think is my favorite deck so far. The other decks that are in there, of course, you've got the. Let me go through it real quick. You've got the Avengers deck. The Avengers deck is okay. But it's not really anything different that we haven't already seen, in the ongoing lists. Most people are playing Iron Man, so that's, that it's kind of the same thing, right? You got your Captain Carter, you got your Sam Wilson Cap, you got Ant-Man, you got Captain America, you got, the newer cards, of course, are Doctor Strange. The way he works is cool. You have Vision, which works a little differently. So, the way that they work a little bit differently is pretty neat. But, kind of very similar to just your ongoing list. X-Men, I think, is the worst one. X-Men, I think, is the worst deck. This one, just for whatever reason, doesn't have a lot of synergy. And this one is, you got Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, Wolverine. I like the Wolverine mechanic. I do like that. Cyclops, Jubilee really shouldn't be in there because what she pulls normally isn't a very big card. Because your cards, the biggest card she could really pull out if you're getting all the little cards is Magneto. But really what she gets isn't going to really benefit you maybe a lot of the times. I like Professor X, Jim Hammond, Human Torch, Armor, Magneto. The cards are cool. It just isn't the strongest one. And you have that unpredictability of where Wolverine is necessarily going to end up and stuff like that. So, you can control it to an extent, but it's okay. It's okay. The Thunderbolts. Now this is the custom one. Kind of got made into a clog deck, which is interesting. Because, of course, you're going to have those negative, you have Valentina, who's got negative. You have the Hood, which is negative, which is a card that was added in. Green Goblin is added into this. So you can pull off that Viper move where you could just clog out a lane. You could clog them with the Hood and then Goblin at the same time, and then they can't get it back over to your side, clog them out of a lane. And then you've got those bigger cards. If they were beating you, you've got a pretty big Winter Soldier. You've got a pretty big Sentry. You've got a demon or maybe one or two demons that you made. So that's what they made that into online. And then you have the pre-built one. And the pre-built one kind of does a little of that. It has Viper in it, and of course in Hood, so you can do that. You can also Viper the Void if you play Sentry and you do end up getting the Void. But Red Hulk's in here, Claw's in here. So there's just big guys. And but I kind of like it. Then you got Guardians of the Galaxy. This one plays a little bit different from the normal Guardians lists. You got Mantis, you got Rocket Raccoon, of course. Gamora kills another card on the other side. This deck could get big too. And of course you got Nebula, Adam Warlock, Angela, Rocket and Groot, Gladiator, and Beta Ray Bill. It's a pretty good deck. That's one I would say that's probably, if I had to rank them, I'd go Thunderbolts number 1, Guardians number 2, I'd go Spider-Man number 3, I'd go Avengers number 4, and I'd go X-Men number 5. That would be my ranking of them. And then you go to Spider-Man, and like I said, putting Spider-Punk in here, I think was kind of a mistake. That's the pre-built one, but the custom one that I got from Glazer's Pod or Glazer's video, has Agony, Ghost Rider. Of course, the top is all the same: Scarlet Spider, Anti-Venom, Symbiote, and 2099. But then they have Ezekiel Sims, Kraven, Silk, Hydra Stomper, Spider-Punk, and Prowler, all in the custom. So, but yeah, listen, I enjoyed it. I got the Fastball Special card. I also have the Mobius and Mobius emote. I'm not sure whether I'm going to try to play to the end. I have 4 days left to go. Let me see how many I'm away. I haven't gotten the Marrow emote or the Claw emote. The Nightcrawler variant is really cool. It says BAMF behind him, which is kind of neat. But let's see. If I look at the pass, I'm at 4690, and I have to get the Hulk card. I have to get up to 7,000. So I'm almost at 5,000. I guess it could be doable. But I'll see. The Hulk card is pretty neat. It's of course a, if I can pull it up here. It's a Victor Farrow, and he does amazing artwork, and the Hulk is no doubt awesome. So I wouldn't mind getting it, but I'll see. I'll see if I continue to keep playing it. I might, because when we get to the new card here, I'm not all that thrilled. Not all that thrilled by Aurora, especially on my first impressions. So, all right. So that is the Team Clash. I hope they bring it back. I kind of dug it. I kind of liked it. So, all right. Let's go into some decks here that I play. Well, first of all, I'll let you all know where I am. I'm at 95 and 2 out of 7. I think I was at 94 or 95 last week, so I didn't go very far on ladder. I'll get back to it a little bit. But some of the decks that I've played throughout the course of this week, nope, I don't want to do that. Some of the decks throughout the course that I played, or course of the week that I played, I played a Thanos list. Now, this was a Safety Blade list. This is Chamber, Valentina, Cosmo, Mobius and Mobius, Shadow King, Shang-Chi. So you see a lot of tech. Stardust, more tech. Cannonball, more tech. Cosmic Ghost Rider, more tech. Thing, First Steps is kind of tech. So a lot of tech in this list. And it did pretty good. It did pretty good. Won me some games. The number one list out there is still this one. This is the Ramp deck. Ebony Maw, Chamber, Valentina, Electro, Luna Snow, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Legion. We have Blink. We have Enchantress, War Machine. We have Galactus, First Steps. And we have the Infinite. So that is pretty static, pretty much the same as it was. Chamber is just very good in the deck. Electro can be blinked out of there if you want to get rid of Electro. But otherwise, this is a pretty good list, and it's been pretty steady over the last couple of weeks in the meta. So, the Wiccan Victoria hand deck is still working well for me. This one is the Quicksilver. I think I read this out on last week's pod, but Quicksilver, Victoria hand, Kate Bishop, Iron Patriot, Merlin, Mirage, Speed, Shadow King, Stardust, Wiccan, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Galactus. Then we have, how about High Evo pop back up? And this came because of just some of the changes that were made in the OTA. So this is Sunspot, Agony, Misty Knight, Herbie, Cosmo, Superior Spider-Man, Warlock, Shang-Chi, Juggernaut, High Evo, She-Hulk, and Hulk. So that came about because of the updates to that deck a little bit with the OTA. Then we've got the Galacti deck, which of course has Fastball Special, but this is America Chavez, Fastball Special, Surge, Forge, Marrow. Marrow's kind of a neat card. Not saying it's strong, but it's kind of neat as to what it does. Magic, Jocasta, Maverick, Prodigy, Adamantium Infusion. You've got the Sneaky Galactus, and then you have Zombie Galacti as well. Then let's see. We've got this one is Lauren Whatev's deck. I was playing this a little bit today, and this is a lot of fun. This is a surprise Galactus deck. It has Yellow Jacket, Nico Minoru, Agony, Black Cat, Martyr. So obviously you're just trying to get, you're trying to get some big cards out. You're not really that concerned about like drawbacks with Martyr or anything like that. You want to get card draw as well. So you have Adam Warlock in here. Then you got Fastball Special. You've got Ravona. You've got Astral Projection, which could be a Galactus, by the way. You've got Starbrand, you've got Man Spider, and you've got Galactus. The Starbrand and the Man Spider are the combo that you want to get before the Galactus, and then use that with Fastball Special, because that's going to be a double of that. Of the Starbrand, it's going to be 21, 22 power, which you're hitting him with, and then that's your lane to attack with the Galactus or the Astral Projection. So you're just looking to try. You're not really doing any shenanigans to get Galactus bigger. You're just trying to get the other player's lane down in that one lane, and then just hit it with the Galactus at the end of the game, and it works very well. So that is the Galactus surprise. And then let's see what else I have here. Now this is for Aurora. So these are some of the Aurora decks I've seen today. This was from Dexter, and this is the one with Doom. Not sure if this one's that good. I watched him play it a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if Aurora is necessarily the way you want to go in this. But it's Wasp, Zabu, Misty Knight. This has a little bit of a high Evo twist. So it's Wasp, Zabu, Misty Knight, Psylocke, Cyclops, Electro, Doom 2099, High Evolutionary, Blue Marvel, Doctor Doom, Aurora, and Hulk. So it's got enough stuff in here. It's got some obviously on reveals. You've got and then you got the Evo cards and stuff like that. So not sure. I know that people are going to maybe look to try Doom with Aurora because you got that combination in there automatically built in. But I'm not sure this is the one. It plays okay, but I'm not sure that the static Doom 2099 list is just better. And then you have, this one was from Regis Kilbin on his channel. And he was playing Ant-Man, King Eitri, Surge, Sam Wilson's Cap, Zombie Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch First Steps, Marvel Boy, Makari, Scarlet Spider, Thing First Steps, Aurora, and Thanos. It seems to me, at least what it looks like, that Aurora is going to be best suited in Thanos decks just because of all the different kind of things you have. And you can see with Regis's list here, you've got a mixture of ongoing, you got a mixture of end of turn, you've got a mixture of activate all in here. And like he was saying on his video, go check it out. But like he was saying, you want to try to get a little bit of each one of these into every lane so they can get that Aurora buff. So, and some of these cards are just good on their own. Scarlet Spider, Thing First Steps, Human Torch First are just good scalers on their own. And then, of course, you always have the Thanos play that you can make at the end. So yeah, looks like fun. And his record on the video was pretty good. And then you have this other one here. This is also a Thanos one. And I think, let's see here. I think this one might have been from Dexter as well. It is not letting me look at it. Hang on one second. Let me get back there. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. If you're old enough to know that, that's what you used to hear on TV stations when you'd have technical difficulties. When a station would go down and stuff like that, you would always hear that message. It was a little frightening for a young kid. I remember, when a TV would just go off and you'd hear, "We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by." And it would just keep going like that until they would get that all cleared up. But it was a little frightening when I was a kid, because you didn't really know what was happening. So, all right, here's this one. This is a Strange Supreme deck. So Strange Supreme, Iron Patriot, Lockjaw, Marvel Boy, Cosmo, Mobius, Shadow King, Stardust. Again, a lot of tech. Thing First Steps, Aurora, Mockingbird, and Thanos. And this one, I was pretty good as well. I played a couple games with it. I won both games. So, so not bad. But I don't know. My first impressions on Aurora, and we'll just read out the card. She's a 6/6. Kind of similar to Spectrum in a way. But on reveal, give one of your other on reveal cards at each location +2 power. Repeat for ongoing, activate, and end of turn. So you can see what Regis means by trying to get those different cards in each lane and spreading them out. So it's kind of have to think a little bit before you make your moves. And if you do, then your hope is that you have a full lane of the cards that are going to be getting this +2 power buff at each lane. So it's like getting an extra 8 power in each lane whenever when you play Aurora. So I mean, all in all, you look at it, if she bonuses like that, you're getting a card that's a 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. But then you're repeating in the lanes. So, at best, right? At best, but then you're gonna have to play her down as well. So at best, you're gonna maybe get what? 2, 4, 6, 8 if you have it set up that way. 8, 16. And then maybe another 6, so 22. At best, she's going to be a 6/28. That's pretty good. That is if you get everything set up exactly perfectly. So, and I'm sure it won't go that way all the time. But I don't know. It remains to be seen. And I will always caution you about using your tokens. Tokens are getting a little scarce. Hell, even mine now are below 20,000. So I haven't been lucky in pulling those tokens out of the packs anymore. But mine's starting to go down too. So you're going to have to be careful with your tokens. They're not easy to come by. And, so, if you see a card that you don't necessarily think is going to be that good, you may want to skip on it. And I have an early impression of this one thinking it could be a skip. But again, wait until the end of the week and wait and see what players are doing with it, what people are, and I'm sure you'll probably see some people come out with some interesting decks throughout the course of the week. So, and Alex Kocha mentions the same thing, very wise advice. Always wait until Friday of that current week to wait and see whether or not you want to get the card or not. I don't think I had her very high ranked in my rankings. So, But yeah, make your decision from there and see. All right, and to close this segment out here, we're going to go into some variants and stuff that I have acquired over the course of this past week. So let's see what we got. I did end up getting, so this is a little carryover from last week. I ended up finishing out that winter album, and I got the Destroyer. I figured why not? It was the only one that I was missing. So, and I mean, for a Destroyer, he's kind of cute. He's got a windbreaker on and a scarf. So, yeah, how much this big metal giant can be cute, but, I guess, he looks okay. I got the fastball special variant. That is done by Supja and Studio Graphite. So I got that one. I got the new Eliath, the Envar Studio variant of Eliath, which is badass. Eliath's variants are all amazing looking. I got the cutest, and they even call it a cute variant of Zabu. Oh my God. It's from Moon Colony. This thing is adorable. Absolutely adorable. I mean, I like some of those cute variants are okay, but when you're shrinking people and you're making them to be these little sprites, they kind of look like little video game characters, but Zabu definitely is the cutest one of all of them. He's got the green eyes. I mean, adorable. Absolutely adorable. I finally got an Ajax variant. I never had one. Not a one. I got the Spotlight one. I bought it with the tokens because I don't have a variant of him, and it's pretty cool. It's a Pandart Studio. It's got the big gun there. It's got the bullets and stuff like that. And then, of course, don't you know, they came out with the Dan Hip one. So now I have two because I always have to get the Dan Hips. I got the Envar Studio variant of Elsa Bloodstone, which is cool. Cool looking art. And that was it. It was kind of a lighter week in variants. I'm thinking I'm going to try to get that the Nightcrawler though. That's in the Team Clash event because I love the Bamf, and that's going to show up when you split it behind him. So I think that's just cool. Whenever he appears and disappears, that boof, boof, and then in the comics they would just put Bamf, BAMF. So that's a callback to the comics. So I love that. You know me with my comic stuff. Let's see what's in the shop and if there's anything cool in here. See what we got. Of course, the exclusive offer for the new card. Since I got the new card, they have an Aurora variant. It is the Supja variant of Aurora, which looks cool. We have a Gambit bundle. It's called Dealing Damage, and you get gold with it. So not bad. $9.99. You get 1,200 gold. A purple neon border. The avatar and of course boosters. And Gambit's card is cool. He's got all the cards in front of him. He's smiling. This is a Nicola Simezia. Oh my God, I probably killed his name. It could be Silent C. It could be Imesija. Nicola Imesija variant. But yeah, this is badass. This is going to look cool split, I bet, too. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, look at that. The purple cards are moving around in the front when it's split. And he's got that purplish, stuff coming off the cards when he activates. Oh, man. This is sick looking. I might have to spring for this for $9.99. Not bad. You get a decent amount of gold. So it's going to be out for a week. So that one I may end up getting. That's not bad at all. We have a Strange Supreme one. This is the expensive one though. $99.99 for a Strange Supreme variant, a Fire Border. 12,000 tokens though. So it's a lot of tokens and 1,200 credits. If you have the scratch and you need the tokens, who knows? Maybe you'll get a Christmas gift, I usually get some Apple gift cards for Christmas so I can use them in the game. Toxie Poison Kiss, that's been out for a while. And then the cards I have in here today, I have the Creative House Pocket variant of Khonshu, the Tarot variant of Wiccan. I told you I'm not a fan of those. The Archery Studio variant of Luna. You know what? And another thing I noticed, Luna's variants all look alike. Luna's variants all look the same to me. And it's almost like always the same pose. The Victor Pharaoh of Shang-Chi. We got the Pandart of Red Guardian. Pandart of Infinite. Art Germ Killmonger. And the Sister Grimm Nico Minoru. So that is what I have in the shop. I don't think we got any new albums, or did we? Oh, yeah, we did. The Storms, Spies, and Surprises album. Oh, no, this is the one with Titanium Bullseye. No, this was out since last week. That's the Victor Pharaoh album. Okay. All right, so we are going to move on here. That is a Snap Talk portion of the show. We're going to move on, and we're going to go to the Comics Corner, and we are going to look at Aurora. We're going to look at Aurora. And second here till I bring it up. Aurora. All right. Okay, let's talk about Aurora. Aurora is Jean-Marie Barbier, or Babé. That's hard to figure that out. Biobier. I want to say it's Bobier, or I don't want to say Boubier. I wish they'd give me a pronunciation. It's definitely Canadian, French. Yeah, it's one of those things. Jean-Marie, I would say it is. I would say Jean-Marie Bobier. That's how I would say it. So her quote is, "My name is Jean-Marie Bobier. Aurora is a sickness, a symptom of childhood trauma which I demand be excised. I'll tell you the location of Alpha Flight's base as soon as you turn on your machines and burn every last vestige of her out of my soul." My. Her alias is Sister Bobier. Her affiliations, she is single, no groups. Physical characteristics, of course, she's female, 5'11", 140. Blue eyes, black hair with silver streaks. Slightly pointed ears, silvery streaks in hair. Her origin, she is a mutant, alive, formerly deceased, from Earth 616. Her place of birth is Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Now I know why Alex Kocha likes her so much. Her identity is known to authorities. She is Canadian and Krakoan. She's an adventurer, a former terrorist, a nun, and a teacher. She is Madame Dupont's School for Girls was her education. Base of operations formerly the Boneyard, Krakoa, Laval, Quebec. Her creators were Chris Claremont and John Byrne in X-Men number 120 back in 1979. I was 10 years old. Born in Canada, Jean-Marie and her twin brother Jean-Paul were separated in infancy after their parents died in a car accident, which caused them both to grow up without the knowledge of one another. She was raised at Madame Dupont's School for Girls, a hyper-religious school in Quebec. Extremely nervous and introverted to the point of suicide, she soon discovered her mutant powers of flight, believing them to be a divine gift due to her strict religious upbringing. Telling her story to Sawyer Anne, Jean-Marie was severely and inhumanly disciplined for blasphemy. This incident began the dissociative identity disorder she would suffer for the rest of her life. Her primary personality of a prim and proper repressed woman, and a secondary personality of an uninhibited extrovert. As with most disorders of this type, she could not remember what she did when reverting back to Jean-Marie. Because her problem wasn't understood or really looked at, it caused her to be punished even more severely. Soon she buried the personality as well as the knowledge of her powers deep within her mind. At one time, she even contemplated jumping off the roof of the school to see if her powers would save her. Instead, she finished school and began teaching. Both personalities strongly disliked the other and would switch with fear, despair, or severe stress. Leaving school and learning of her acceptance as a school teacher, her uninhibited personality exerted herself to revel in joy. She was attacked by muggers, however, and used her powers to defend herself. Wolverine, who was nearby at the time, noticed the commotion and stopped the second mugger. He told Jean-Marie that she should seek James Hudson in Ottawa, noting her strong resemblance to Jean-Paul Bobier. Hudson contacted him when she arrived. The two reunited and joined Alpha Flight as Aurora and North Star. The extroverted Bobier personality, you knew they were going to make me keep saying that, reveled in the superhero aspect of her life, adventuring with Alpha Flight and having many affairs, including long romantic relationships with fellow teammate Walter Langowski, Sasquatch. At her request, performed an experiment that would negate the twins' need for contact with each other to release their powers. Later, when Alpha Flight sought the magic of the fire fountain, which had briefly made Aurora's personality a cohesive whole, Loki, in revenge for Alpha Flight's tampering with his earlier schemes, led the twins to believe that they were not mutants, but half-elves. Loki claimed that the mental dysfunction and her brother's current physical disease was due to broken gestalt that separated their powers. Aurora used her power on Northstar, which seemed to cure his illness and leave herself powerless. Loki transported her to a convent in Saint Anne all this French. Saint Anne de Papue. Oh my God, forget it. I can't speak French. Which helped her regain a healed psyche, but allowing her powers to manifest slightly different, releasing inner light. When her former lover, Walter Langowski, was on trial, she traveled to see him and used her powers to aid him in seeing through illusions. She was forced by Talisman to return to Alpha Flight to help rescue her brother, who was trapped in Asgard by Loki. The two remain with the team. Her powers soon changed until they significantly resembled her original ones. She decided to join Gamma Flight in the role of psychiatric counselor when she was captured by the supervillain Headlock. Headlock's psychological torture brought back the split personalities she had before. The resulting of returning to this condition created a psychic backlash that left Headlock dead and her able to escape. During her time with Alpha Flight, she fell in love with her teammate Wildheart, formerly known as Wildchild. Pursue Wildheart mostly to his handsome appearance, a recent physical condition of his that was created by the government scientists. However, when Wildheart's appearance began to revert to his original inhuman visage, Wildheart left her and Alpha Flight, unaware that the sudden departure may have exacerbated the deterioration of her fragile psyche. She was soon abducted under mysterious circumstances, presumably on behalf of the Canadian government. She was rescued by the mutant Havoc during the time he was leading the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Havoc brought Aurora to the extra-dimensional Dark Beast, who believe he may be able to cure her once and for all. Eventually revealing himself to be a double agent, challenged the Dark Beast, and the Brotherhood disbanded. Havoc set her free and told her to return to Alpha Flight. Aurora was eventually located by her brother and accompanied him in joining the original Alpha Flight members Shaman, Sasquatch, and James Hudson to uncover the truth about the latest activities of Department H. The original Alphans ended up assisting the officially sanctioned Alpha Flight against the latest bearer of the name Weapon X, and afterwards combined into one Alpha Flight team. During her time with the team, she was exposed to a strain of sentient bacteria, which ultimately removed her alternate personalities once again. Unfortunately, she later regressed into fractured mental state and was remanded to a mental institution once more. Months later, she was freed from the asylum by Wildchild on behalf of the new Weapon X program, which under the auspices of the mysterious director, hoped to use the program's mutants for benefit of humankind, even if that meant performing deadly missions and interning mutant captives. She was experimented on to relieve her mental condition, and she joined the Weapon X program, although she rejected Wildchild due to his new freakish appearance. Children of the Vault and X-Men. Aurora would later return with Northstar. Just as she was about to kill herself, he stopped her. Under control by the Children of the Vault, they attacked the X-Mansion and fought the X-Men. She was, however, taken out by Mystique's quick thinking. Her mind was later saved by S.H.I.E.L.D. equipment. In her secret invasion in Dark Reign during the Skrull invasion, Aurora and Northstar assisted in fighting against the Skrulls in San Francisco. She was later in regular therapy in order to repress her Aurora persona. They returned to Alpha Flight, and of course they were in Fear itself. Aurora was one of the many mutants that joined the nation of Krakoa. Aurora and her brother Northstar were sent on a flyover scouting mission to Araco by Krakoa's Captain Commander Cyclops. In their report, they mentioned the island being full of giant hostile beasts. They were in Fall of X, and of course Helverine. Her powers, true. This is another quote from her. True, I can fly at Mach 50 without effort and emit regenerative energy when I touch my brother, but that's behind me. She has light generation. She has calming light, concussive blasts, and lightning. The calming light, she has the ability to send out calming light that the target feels emotions and memories that make them at peace. Can even be used to break telepathic control. Concussive blast, ability to send out powerful concussive blasts that can do considerable damage. She can project these from her hand and out from her body in a series of concussive bursts. She has superhuman speed, molecular acceleration, heightened reflexes, accelerated metabolism, enhanced durability, and G-force compensation. She also has the ability to fly and technological undetectability. hand-to-hand combat. And then her weaknesses are her own mental illness, the multiple personality disorder, the Jean-Marie, her primary personality of a prim and proper repressed woman. Aurora's personality 2, a second personality of an uninhibited extrovert. Personality 3, likes fine wines, horse racing, and casual ultraviolence. Personality 4, a weakened goth who occasionally self-harms and has an inexplicable aversion to shellfish. Personality 5, likes sports activities, photography, and is an amateur paleontologist, someone who studies prehistoric life, spoke only in French. Personality 6, likes opera, gardening, and creationist literature. Personality 7, likes graffiti, mild S&M, okay, and gambling. Personality 8 is reckless and is a committed masochist. So, yeah, okay. So she's got a lot of different personalities. Her costume is specially made so it does not tear while she uses her powers. She has transportation with the Alpha Flight Omnijet, and her identity is known to certain Canadian government officials. So that is Aurora. We are now going to head over to the Marvel Unlimited app, and we're going to look at what we got out this week, and we're going to look up Aurora first and see where we can find Aurora. There she is. Her details here. Mutant that can fly at super speeds, but when in contact with her twin, Northstar, they unleash an intense light blast. Aurora has served in both Alpha Flight and in the X-Men. All right, so you have her origin here. Alpha Flight 1983 to 1994. You also have another version of Alpha Flight from 2001 to 2011 to 2012, 9 issues. Weapon X from 2002 to 2004. The Marauders, 2022 to present. Weapon X The Draft, Wild Child. That is one-off issue from 2002. Chaos War Alpha Flight from 2010. X Factor from 2020 to 2021. Age of Apocalypse, The Chosen. Then a bunch of other Alpha Flight and X-Men stuff. So yeah, so there's a good amount of stuff you could read in the app if you so desire. All right, new this week. Let's look and see what books are out. We got Marvel Rivals Unleashed, Infinity Comic number 10, and Squirrel Girl is on the cover. We got Ultimate Black Panther issue number 20. Oh, Boba Fett, black, white, and red. I told you these black, white, and red books are amazing. Oh man, I'm reading this tonight. We got Runaways number 4, issue number 4. Runaways 2025. We have Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 38. We have Magic, issue number 10. We have the regular Star Wars title, issue number 5. That's a start over, basically. And this is all happening beyond the Battle of Jakku. We have the Fantastic Four, 2025, issue number 3. We have X-Men Age of Revelation, Infinity Comic, issue number 8. New Avengers, issue number 4. Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck, issue number 2. We have one of my favorites, the Hulk, the horror comic, issue number 29. We've got a facsimile edition of Marvel Civil War. So if you want to read Civil War, it's there, issue number 2. We have Ultimates, issue number 16. The Uncanny X-Men, issue number 21. Predator Kills the Marvel Universe, issue number 2. Deadpool Wolverine, issue number 9. Apocalypse is in that. We have the Phoenix comic, issue number 15. Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 12. I told you that's getting a little weird. Spidey's out in space. We have Strange Tales Infinity comic, issue number 1. We've got... Now, these are just some older books that they're reprinting. Avengers Spotlight from 1989. Then we got Marvel Rivals Infinity Comic, Gambit's on the cover, issue number 35. More of these Avengers Spotlight. Oh, they have I wanted to read this. They have Deadpool Batman, Sweet. I thought that this was going to be hard to find because it was a DC title, but that's awesome. I will read that tonight as well. So Deadpool Batman is in the app. But that is what I've got in my app this week. You already know what I'm reading. I have told you the Boba Fett Black, White, and Red and Batman Deadpool will be my first 2 picks of the week. So that's what we got. You too can get this. They are doing the Christmas special. You can get a whole year of Marvel Unlimited for $50. I'm going to take advantage of that when I get my Christmas gifts. And my if I get some money for Christmas, I will be renewing because that's a big savings. Normally I pay $20 a month, or I'm sorry, $10 a month for this. So that's like half off the price. So if you cannot get to a comic book store, which I always tell you to do, if you can, the Marvel Unlimited app has all of this good stuff for you. So, alrighty, guys, we are going on to the MCU Minute, and lo and behold, the trailer has been released. The Captain America trailer has been released. So, if you haven't seen it by now, it is all over the place, and it is on Marvel's YouTube channel. The Marvel MCU's YouTube channel has it on there. And we know we're getting 4 of these trailers. And you can now go and watch it without going to see Avatar, which I am not going to see Avatar because I am not interested in any more Avatar films. So I'm very, very happy that they put this out. So you can go and watch it for yourselves. All the content creators are showing it today. And you can go check it out. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But enjoy. It is out now. All right, so this is from comicbook.com. MCU star missing for 4 years teases new Avengers look for Doomsday. The hype surrounding Doomsday continues to build, with the MCU movie already considered one of the most exciting movies of 2026. The movie is set to bring back an ambitious number of superheroes, not just from the MCU, but with some returning from different movie universes, making full use of the multiverse saga's reality-hopping premise. The cast of Doomsday is set to feature many exciting Marvel characters, with some beloved actors announcing as returning to the franchise. These include those who had seemingly exited the MCU, such as Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., but also several others from across the franchise long timeline. Among these characters set to return is Shang-Chi, who has been missing from the MCU since his 2021 debut in Legend of the Ten Rings. Talking about the movie with Empire State on TikTok, Shang-Chi actor Simu Liu revealed that his character will sport a brand new costume in Doomsday. It's a completely different suit that fit on me very differently, he explained. Just goes to show things change. He elaborated that the pieces of the suit were different from his first MCU costume, teasing a whole new design for the hero in his much anticipated return to the franchise. So that's cool. Shang-Chi is coming back. After multiple leaks and a theatrical trailer, Marvel finally officially announces Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. So if you haven't seen it, that's essentially what it is and what the big announcement was. This is showing me way too many pop-up ads. Okay, there we go. Doomsday is one of the most anticipating movies of the year. Makers dropped a teaser of the film, and not just that. They made a big reveal in this short glimpse, coming straight to the point. The original Captain America, Steve Rogers, is set to return with this movie. This has left MCU fans losing their minds, as Chris Evans will be making a comeback after almost a decade. The teaser opens with a bike rider arriving at home. We then see his hand keeping the helmet on the vehicle and leaving the Captain America jacket outside the house. In the next scene, we see a man holding a baby in his arms until the face reveal. In the end, the short teaser showcased that the man is none other than Steve Rogers. The makers then announce officially Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. So that's very cool. Let's see here. Hold on. All you're going to hear is the noise. Here you can see the bike rider coming in. I'm going to narrate this for you. Puts the kickstand down. And you can see the helmet being hung on the bike. Now you can see that figure, that shadowy figure, walking up to a door of that house that we should recognize. Now inside. No, it looks like he's leaving. Yeah, he's got the Captain America suit, leaving it outside. And now you see him, and he's holding a baby. And there it is. There's Chris Evans. You see his face. So Chris Evans has a child, smiling at the baby. And then it fades to black. Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. Written across the black. And then you get to see the poster, the Avengers poster, the Doomsday poster with the Doomsday clock counting down the hours and minutes. So there you go. Got a narration of the trailer from me there. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. So Steve Rogers is back. What does it all mean, right? What does it all mean? Obviously, he had a child. Now, this is the Steve that came back and gave Sam the shield when he was much, much older. So what can we assume from this? He has a child. So where is I guess the biggest question is, where is the child? This is in the 616. So this is not in a different universe. This is apparently in the 616 universe that he went back and was with Peggy Carter. So the child, if born back then, would now be older, obviously, as well. So is that going to play a part in it? Is the child going to be in the film? Is the child going to be talked about and stuff like that? We'll have to see. And obviously Steve came back, and so then you got to wonder too, did Steve fight against Dr. Doom? We had heard Falcon pose him that question. Do you want to tell us about it? And then he just kind of looks down and says, no, I don't think I will. And he doesn't say anything. So that's another thing. Did the older Steve go through this Doomsday battle? Obviously, with this, you're seeing that you will. And you're seeing a theme that is happening here, right? With the Thor trailer. Now, I won't spoil that one, because the Marvel didn't officially show it yet. When they show it, I will. But they haven't officially showed it yet. But you're sensing a theme here, right? You're sensing a theme of children, okay? And then, of course, the next one we're going to get is the one that is for Dr. Doom himself. So that should be coming pretty soon. But this is very, very interesting, guys. It has been confirmed that this is a direct sequel to Endgame. Direct sequel to Endgame. Enough so that they are re-releasing Endgame into theaters next year. And let's all go out and see it, because there's going to more than likely be a big trailer attached to it at the end of it for Doomsday. Now, I don't know if it's coming out before or after Spider-Man, but it is coming out next year. And we also should go see it, because we want to get it to beat out Avatar. Okay, so let's all go see it, and let's get it to beat out Avatar. I love the experience of Endgame, and I think I only saw it once, so I am definitely going to go see it again when it comes back into theaters. So, man, oh man. Now this one says, this is from the Gaming Bible. Avengers Doomsday has MCU viewers freaking out. Thor trailer leaks. Let's see. A French language version of the Avengers Doomsday trailer has been shared across social media. Though many of them have been removed, fans still got a glimpse of it. Yeah, so the second one is about Thor. And so, yeah, I'm not going to spoil that. I'm not going to say anything about it. Let's wait. We'll all wait until the Captain America trailer comes out, or the Thor trailer releases on Marvel's website. So that's when I will go over that one, and I'll kind of do the same thing. I'll play the music in the background. I'll narrate it for you guys, and I'll go over what is happening in that in the trailer. Let's see if there's anything else. This is from Superhero Hype. The Fantastic Four First Steps MCU movie gets surprising prequel. Per the Direct, Marvel Comics has announced a new Fantastic Four First Steps prequel comic titled Fantastic Four First Foes, written by Dan Slott, illustrated by Mark Buckingham. The one-shot will be released, will be released on March 4th of 2026. The log line reads, as the Fantastic Four rise to become the heroes we know today, the Mad Thinker becomes determined to get his proper due by turning the city of tomorrow against his historic patrons. So there you go. If you wanted to know what that, maybe what was going on at the very beginning, because we didn't get to see a lot of that, you will be getting a comic to read next year. That is a prequel comic to the movie. And this one's from IGN. Upcoming new Marvel movies for 2026 and beyond. Release dates for Phase 6. Okay, let's see what this is telling us here. All right, so this is what we got, guys. We got Wonder Man, January 27th, 2026, so that's out next month. That is going to be a one-shot drop. So you're going to get all the episodes dropping right away. That'll be on Disney+. Daredevil Born Again Season 2, March 2026, and Season 3, date to be determined. Spider-Man, Brand New Day, July 31st of 2026. X-Men Season 2 is coming summer of 2026, and Season 3, date to be determined. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2 is coming fall of 2026, and Season 3, date to be determined. Avengers Doomsday is, of course, December 18th, 2026. Vision Quest TV series is out in 2026 as well. Don't have the date on that yet. Punisher Marvel TV special. Now, John Barenthal did say that this will be out before Spider-Man, because we all know he's in that. That'll be in 2026. Avengers Secret Wars, December 17th to 2027, so that's, of course, next year. Blade, date to be determined, which was always the case. Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings 2, date to be determined. And Armor Wars, date to be determined. So Armor Wars are going back to that. That's still possibly coming out. That's been talked about for a good long time. So we'll see if that's actually going to happen. And then here's one. This is from Superhero Hype as well. Canceled MCU Avengers movie gets new plot details. Some details about Avengers, the Kang Dynasty movie would have looked like had it reportedly come to light. For announcing Doomsday, they initially planned for Avengers 4 to be Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. The movie was going to be directed by Shang-Chi and the Legend Ten Rings, Destin Daniel Cretton. Post reads, in this film, the TVA began gathering anchor beings from across the Marvel Universe, believing they are the only ones powerful enough to defeat the Council of Kangs. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were the anchors for their respective realities, while Tom Holland's Spider-Man served as the anchor on Earth 616. The movie was intended to be smaller in scope than compared to Secret Wars, focusing more on Holland's Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and other anchors like Nick Cage's Ghost Rider. The plan was for all of them to ultimately fail, leading to the collapse of the multiverse and Kang's creation of Battleworld. This would then set the stage for Secret Wars, where other MCU characters and additional multiverse figures would converge on Battleworld. This is only a rumor. No official plot details for the Kang Dynasty have been released. Maguire, Garfield, Holland, Jackman, and Cage have not been announced to be part of the cast of either of the two upcoming Avengers movies. Well, you know they will be. Doomsday hits theaters 20. We talked about that. All right. I believe that is it for the news. Big news, of course, was the trailer finally being released. All right. Let's see if there's any gaming news to talk about. I hadn't done much gaming this week, unfortunately. Just pretty much playing Snap and stuff like that for the most part. I really didn't touch the PlayStation at all. It's getting kind of hectic now. It's the before Christmas stuff going on in the store and everything like that. So I was working a lot of long days. And then I was just kind of coming home and just chilling out, relaxing and watching videos and stuff like that. You guys know how that is. You know, you come home from work, you're just kind of exhausted, not probably getting enough sleep and things like that. So I really didn't touch the PlayStation much. I'm hoping to still grab that RPG that I talked about on the last one. Maybe I'll get it for Christmas. We'll see. But if not, I could always use some of my gift cards and stuff to get it for myself. But I do plan on picking that up. So let's see if there's any kind of gaming news that I could talk about really quickly here. Not going to spend too much time. From Game Rant, analysts predict new Witcher 3 DLC and when to expect CD Projekt Red's other upcoming games. There's a new James Bond game coming out. That's pretty exciting. Fully playable from beginning to end. Star Citizen Dev gives exciting update on Squadron 42. Could only exist on Nintendo hardware. Silent Hill developer teases Switch 2 exclusive game. Ooh, what is this? More insight into his in-developed Nintendo exclusive Project M. Claiming that the Switch 2 is the perfect home for the secretive horror title. Over the years, Nintendo hasn't exactly been seen as ideal home for horror games, but Bloober is aiming to change that. For the past decade, Bloober has managed to make a name for itself with some of the most intriguing horror developers to watch. Layers of Fear, Blair Witch, and The Medium gave them a solid reputation for making small-scale horror stories, but the developer was still thrust in the spotlight when the team was hired by Konami to take over the Silent Hill 2 remake. Remaking such a beloved psychological horror game was no easy feat, but they managed to pull it off, with the remake becoming one of the biggest games of 2020. I love that game. This year, the developer introduced its own brand new IP, Chronos, The New Dawn, and now with a remake of the first Silent Hill and Project M in the pipeline. So, wow, they're remaking the first one? Oh, man. Bloober team has its hands full. Both projects are exciting, but what makes Project M so intriguing is that the developer has been aiming to make a Nintendo exclusive for a while. They're saying that Project M could only exist on Nintendo hardware. Decided to establish a game development studio that was meant to create horror games for Nintendo platforms. After a rocky development cycle on his first project, the studio risked closing down. They got to live on. Project M was born. Has some compelling influences. Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Limbo, and Eternal Darkness. Oh my God, Eternal Darkness was an amazing game for Nintendo. Project M introduces a bold twist, one that no horror game has ever explored before. This is a vision that can only exist on Nintendo hardware. It's clear, games like Silent Hill and Eternal Darkness, it's clear that they're still sticking close to psychological themes it's recently been working with, while Resident Evil shows the studio's further embrace of action-based survival horror. Man, dude, if this is anything like Eternal Darkness, oh boy, that's exciting. GTA will be the most expensive game ever developed, but won't cost $100. Some people were thinking that the new Grand Theft Auto might cost people $100. That's insane. Crazy. All right, let's see. Claire Obscure, that's Expedition 33. That's the one I want to get. PlayStation's holiday sale is live. Ooh, let's look and see what's on sale. NBA 2K26, $27. Forza Horizon 5, a lot of sports stuff. Madden, $27. That always goes down around this time when everything's done. When football's over and stuff. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, $49. Silent Hill F, $41. Metal Gear Solid Delta, $47. WWE 2K25, $23. Grand Theft Auto 5, $19.99. Cyberpunk is down to $22. Mortal Kombat 1 is down to $9.99. And No Man's Sky, I cannot believe that game is still going. That is crazy. I played that from the very start, and I can't believe that game had so many issues. I cannot believe that is still going strong, and a lot of people are playing. So that's crazy. All right, well, there you go. There is the... I got to go back and find out what I called this thing. What did I call this? What did I call my segment? I knew I was going to forget this. I have to put this in my notes. Let me look at my previous release. If you want to check out some old toys, my Twitter, I posted the thing about the Mego action figures and the Mego action figure Batcave and stuff like that on there. Go check those out. And if you want to watch something funny, watch the commercial on YouTube for the Mego action figures, Mego world's greatest action figure video, and see how bad they botched that. Like, I mean, they know nothing about. You could tell they knew nothing about superheroes. Nothing. Like, I'm not saying Mego didn't, but the company especially that did the commercial, like they're saying like Mr. Fantastic and Invisible, Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. They always had that guy with that voice do like all the commercials. Both have the power of invisibility. And I'm sitting there like, no, they don't. It's go check it out. It's funny. Go watch it. You'll get a laugh out of it. Goodness gracious, where is my pod rundown? Pixel perspective. Pixel perspective. There you go. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to change it up a little bit this week, and I'm going to give you all a lyric this week from a Christmas song. And I mean, come on, you gotta, right? You gotta do it. And I promise it is not going to be Mariah Carey. I promise. I promise it will not be Mariah Carey. This is one that I grew up with. These are the kind of shows that I watched when I was a kid. Oddly enough, I'll even give you the artist. This is George Irving who did this. George Irving. Are you ready? This is going to be so simple, but... All right, here we go. This is the lyric for the week, and I'll even give you a Marvel Santa no prize if you get this one. Yes, there was a Marvel Santa, and he was creepy. He was on a comic book, which I'll put up on my Discord and my Twitter. He was on a Marvel Super Special Christmas. They would do one. These are those giant comics that I used to tell you about that were $1. But the Santa on it is creepy as AF. It's just drawn so creepy. All right, here we go. Ready? I never want to know a day that's under 60 degrees. That's me too, to a T. I'd rather have it 80, 90, 100's a breeze. Oh, some like it hot, but I like it really hot. And I can't tell you anymore because it's too easy to guess. So there you go. There's my lyrics for the week from one of my all-time favorite Christmas specials ever. Ever. Oh, yeah, and I got homework for y'all. Tell me, what is your favorite Christmas movie? What's your favorite Christmas film? I have mine. Mine's pretty easily grown to be. Now, if you all consider Die Hard, and you all should, to be a Christmas movie, because it is. Die Hard is definitely up there. But my favorite one that I watch every single Christmas to this day is the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase. Cracks me up every time I watch it. Every time I watch it. With him stringing up those freaking lights and sucking the power out of the nuclear plant because he put up so many on his house. All the other stuff that goes on in that, from the crazy parents and in-laws that come to visit, and it just I crack up laughing every time I watch that. And but tell me what your favorite Christmas movie is. I would love to know. And all right, guys. Well, there you go. That is going to do it for me for this holiday edition of Snap Decisions. All I can say is, I won't talk to you guys again until a little bit before the new year. But all I can say is just a huge thank you to all of you. A huge shout out to all of you. And just the biggest of thanks from me for this past year. All the statistics I read off to you guys. The fact that I'm now an official Snap content creator. That is all because of you. Your dedication to listening to the show, your commenting and your comments that you give me every week make this what it is. This is about you. And I cannot be more grateful to all of you who have been on my show throughout the course of 2025, who have given me your time, to come on the show, all of those of you who listen to the show every single week. I mean, I love all of you, and that's all I could say. I love you all. I don't know. I would not be doing this without you, and I'm so grateful. Go win yourself a season pass, by the way. I have not given them away yet. I have 3 of them to give. So if you're listening to this right now, head over to my YouTube channel. Leave me a comment on the pod. You can leave me a comment on Spotify if you want to get in on the season pass. I know a lot of you probably already have it, but if you don't, leave me a comment right here on Spotify or on Apple or wherever you listen. Go head over to my YouTube page and subscribe to that page. It's going to get more action. I promise you that the audio pods at the very least are going to go up there. But I promise you in the new year, I'm going to get back to having at least 1 video per week with a creator or somebody else guesting on there. And then I will have the pod on there as well. So I'm going to get more action going on that channel. So go over there and subscribe. Leave me a comment over there if you want to get in on the drawing for the season pass. And all that good stuff. That is going to be your way of getting in on some of the things that I'm able to do now, which is super, super exciting. So I am a part of the Snap Judgments League of Podcasts, which includes such amazing shows as Snap on This with Lauren Whatevs, your host. Check out her new site, by the way, that she's doing for Snap. It's Just Ree, who is doing a game. Can you believe that? My gosh, these people are talented, man. She's making a brand new game. It's for Android right now. You can get in on that. Go and check out their speakeasy. I'm sure it'll be all the details will be in there. But man, I wish I had talent like that. That's absolutely amazing. And I hope it does really well. I unfortunately don't have an Android platform, but if it comes out on Apple, I certainly will download and play it. And of course, Benjamin Roller. Ben streams as well, so check out some of his streams. He's playing things like Hades and other stuff on there, so go check him out. Another great dude in Marvel Snap that I've gotten to know over the course. They've all been on my podcast at once. They've all been on at separate times. So go check those episodes out if you want on my YouTube channel. And of course, Glazer and Roy and the Snap Judgments pod makes this all possible for all of us, and I can't thank him enough. And I hope to be on his pod again sometime soon. And that is it, folks. That's going to do it for me. I wish you all the very merriest and blessed of Christmases. I hope that you are able to spend it with loved ones, family, friends, whoever it may be. Again, just enjoy the holidays. Of course, with whatever you do, please stay safe. Be kind to others at this time of year. I know it's hard. I work in retail, and it is tough sometimes. People are very stressed. It's a very stressful time, especially when you're a little short on money and stuff like that. And also just be aware that there are people that are in need, people that are homeless, people that are in shelters, people that, if you're not sure or if you don't know exactly where to go on Christmas Day, or maybe your family is away from you and maybe you're not with family right now. Go out and donate. Go out and give your time to one of the shelters. Be one of those people that goes out and helps food kitchens and stuff like that. I have been told that is the greatest feeling in the world. But yeah, please stay safe. More so than ever, be kind to one another. There are people who are out there that have to spend the holidays alone. Maybe their wife or their spouse has passed on. Maybe they don't have children. So if you know anybody around you that's living around you like that, give them a call, give them a ring, make sure they're okay, and all that stuff, because there are definitely a lot of less fortunate people that are out there. So be kind to one another always, wherever it may be, on the socials, online, wherever. And hopefully, I will talk to you all on the next episode of Snap Decisions. Merry Christmas, everyone, and I'll talk to you on the next one. This is your Snap DJ, your Merry Snap DJ, signing off. Ho, ho, ho.